Russell Westbrook is one of the most polarizing players in all of the NBA. The former league MVP is an energetic, athletic freak who can be very entertaining to watch one day, but extremely frustrating to watch the next. Ever since he signed a 5-year Supermax contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder 4 years ago, Westbrook has played for 4 different teams. And with his current season with the Los Angeles Lakers arguably being his worst, it's safe to say things aren't looking good for Russell Westbrook. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. The triple-double king is born. Up until Kevin Durant left the Oklahoma City Thunder in the summer of 2016, Russell Westbrook had always been seen as an extremely solid co-star for Durant, able to impact the game in multiple areas. He was never the most efficient shooter or the best at taking care of the ball, but Brody was a great complementary scorer and a top-tier playmaker alongside him, a player who was arguably the best scorer in the NBA. He didn't need to be anything more than that for the Thunder to succeed, as the team even made it to the 2012 NBA Finals after beating longtime juggernauts like the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. But when KD left, something changed inside Westbrook. He was left as the best player for Thunder, and as such, he assumed a much bigger offensive role in Durant's place. But it seemed like there was a bigger motivation pushing him to go harder than ever. His revenge season ended with him becoming the 2017 League MVP after averaging 33 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists on 43% shooting from the field and 34% from behind the three-point arc. It was the first time anybody had averaged a triple-double since the legendary Oscar Robertson did in 1964. It was certainly an impressive and historic season, except the Thunder finished 6th in the Western Conference and got bounced in the first round. And believing Westbrook only needed some help to take the Thunder farther in the playoffs, OKC's front office brought him Paul George and Carmelo Anthony to form a new Big Three. But the Thunder was once again kicked out of the playoffs in the first round twice more. But yay! Westbrook had 2 more triple-double seasons. On the move. Already knowing what some people suspected but most refused to admit, Thunder general manager Sam Presti decided to blow up his core and start an unexpected rebuild. He dealt Paul George to the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for budding star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 7 first-round picks, along with sending Westbrook to Houston for Chris Paul and 4 first-round picks. Because even though everybody was still enamored with the triple-double smoke and mirrors, it was clear that Westbrook would never work as the best player on a championship team. Chris Paul's relationship with the Rockets deteriorated to a point where James Harden demanded the point guard was traded, which is how he ended up in OKC. Westbrook arrived as a co-star to Harden in Houston, and with the Warriors dynasty, the team's biggest rival of the decade, down and out, many people believed the Rockets could once again contend for a title, but they couldn't be any more wrong. Westbrook was played off the court in the 2020 playoffs. Houston barely survived the first round. While James Harden's heroics saved the team from collapsing in Game 7, the Rockets still got a 2-point win against the young OKC Thunder. In the second round, it was the Los Angeles Lakers who forced Westbrook to make his shots, leaving him wide open at the 3-point line and sending him to the free throw line. It was a plan that certainly worked, as Russ shot 7 for 27 from 3 and 14 for 26 from the free throw line in the series, and the Rockets were easily dispatched in 5 games. Soon after, Westbrook was once again on the move. The Rockets somehow found a way to send the former MVP and his atrocious contract to Washington. It wasn't much of a mystery for how it happened, however, as Houston had to take back the injury-riddled John Wall and start an unexpected rebuild. After a season of his touches taking a hit due to playing with Harden, Westbrook once again became a primary ball handler in Washington and averaged another triple-double. But history would repeat itself and the Wizards were gone from the playoffs after just 5 first-round games. It seemed like the Wizards were content to have Russ on the team for the rest of his contract. He wasn't going to push them to contend for a title, but he definitely raised their floor from a lottery team to a first-round exit team. Plus, they couldn't trade him. His contract was so bad that they would need to trade away a couple of picks to get rid rid of him, if anybody even wanted to take on his salary. But then, out of nowhere, the Los Angeles Lakers gave the Wizards front office a surprise call. They wanted to trade for Westbrook, an utter disaster. While everybody questioned Russell Westbrook's fit alongside two extremely ball-dominant players who weren't lights-out shooters like LeBron James and Anthony Davis, nobody believed the Lakers would be this bad. At the All-Star break, they found themselves in the play-in zone, with Davis yet again injured and LeBron still having to carry the team on his back. Westbrook's personal stats aren't all that bad. He's averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists on 44% shooting from the field and 30% shooting from the deep. But the Lakers have performed terribly while he's on the court. For starters, Russ can barely hit a shot to save his life. Per NBA stats, Westbrook is shooting under 30% in three-point attempts in which he's open or wide open. This shouldn't be a surprise to the Lakers because, as we saw earlier, it's been less than 2 years since they gave Westbrook the Ben Simmons treatment in the 2020 playoffs, letting him take all of the threes he wanted without even worrying about defending him. They knew what they were signing up for when they traded him. As for his slashing, which is supposed to be his biggest strength, scoring-wise, it hasn't worked for him this year either. Per Cleaning the Glass, Westbrook is hitting just 56% of his shots at the rim, his lowest mark in a season since Kevin Durant's last year in OKC. Overall, Westbrook has a minus 3.1 net rating, and head coach Frank Vogel has decided to sit him in the last minutes of close games. That's how bad he's doing in LA. Don't go anywhere because we're about to take a look at what the future of Russell Westbrook's career will look like and how he's dug himself into a hole that might be impossible to come back from, refusing to change. As good as Russell Westbrook's statistics are, by now it should be clear that he doesn't impact winning in any sort of way. Unless you're only trying to win enough games to get booted in the first round, of course. Russell Westbrook is not an asset for a team trying to win a championship. He's had some of the best players in the NBA for teammates throughout the years, and he only has had first round exits to show for it. He doesn't impact winning as a number 1 option like in OKC, as a number 2 option as in Houston, or even as a number 3 option as with the Lakers. For a player who is as smart as Westbrook on the court, it's weird that he hasn't realized that he's his own biggest enemy and the reason his career has gone downhill. He refuses to adjust his game in order to put his team in a position to win. He just keeps jacking up threes even when he makes them at subpar rate. He doesn't seem to care about playing defense, and all he does is stand still whenever the ball isn't in his hands. We saw the exact same thing happen to Carmelo Anthony. Russ even lived through Melo's transition from all-star to role player while the two were teammates in Oklahoma City. As Anthony started aging, he refused to take a smaller role in his team's offensive schemes or to come off the bench. It wasn't until Carmelo literally spent an entire season out of the league that he realized it was time to take a back seat. Westbrook is in quite a similar situation. The difference between Melo and him, though, is Anthony still has an elite skill, even at almost 38 years of age: his shooting. Carmelo is hitting 40% of his threes this season with the Lakers, which ranks 85th percentile among all forwards in the league. Russ, on the other hand, doesn't have a single redeeming quality to show for his efforts. What's next for Westbrook? Russ can't make shots at the rim anymore. He turns the ball over at an alarming rate, and he isn't a good defender. Not to mention the fact that him being a terrible shooter makes him borderline unplayable, and in the fact that he refuses to accept a smaller role means that there's probably not a single team in the NBA that wants to sign him after his contract ends. After this season, Russ has a 1-year, $47.1 million player option that he's almost guaranteed to pick up. It's unlikely Westbrook is going to make as much money over the rest of his career combined. That's if he finds a team that even wants him, because with how negatively Westbrook's game has evolved, things aren't looking good for him and the rest of his career. What do you think will happen with Russell Westbrook after this season? Will he even get another contract after his current one ends? Make sure to let us know in the comments section down below, and we'll see you in the next one.